In the world of bodybuilding, where giants have risen and legends have been carved into the iron history of Olympia, one name still thunders across the stage whenever the word mass monster is spoken. Paul Dillet. A man whose physique looked less like it was sculpted in a gym and more like it was engineered in a laboratory to defy every known limitation of human muscle. A man who towered over his competition not just in height, but in the sheer density, thickness, and fullness of every fiber that clung to his massive frame, making him look like a comic book superhero who had stepped out of fiction and into reality. And when you first lay your eyes on Paul Dillet, you don't just see a bodybuilder. You see a force of nature, a walking skyscraper of muscle, veins pulsating, chest hanging like slabs of granite, delts exploding like cannonballs, arms swollen to sizes that mocked tape measurements, legs carved like tree trunks, capable of holding the weight of an empire. And when he walked onto the Olympia stage in the 90s, the crowd gasped, not just in admiration but in disbelief, because here was a physique that didn't look like it belonged to Earth. It looked like it belonged to mythology, the kind of form that could have been described in Greek legends alongside Hercules. Yet Paul Dillet was not a myth. He was flesh and blood, sweating, straining, and pushing against the very edge of what the human body could withstand. And though he never won Mr. Olympia, his legacy was far more than a trophy. It was the aura of intimidation, the visual shock that made fans whisper, "Is this even real?" Because in an era filled with greats like Dorian Yates, Flex Wheeler, Shawn Ray, Kevin Levrone, and Nasser El Sambati, Paul Dillet still managed to stand out, not because of flawless symmetry or refined polish, but because of the sheer freak factor. The mass monster category itself became synonymous with his name, his nickname, Freak Einstein, fitting perfectly, because his look was something the world had never processed before. And when he hit those poses, front lat spread, side chest, most muscular, the stage seemed smaller, as if the curtains had shrunk, the lights dimmed, and gravity itself bent around him. And yet Paul's journey was not just about muscle, it was about survival, pain, sacrifice, and the relentless pursuit of size. For behind that massive chest and those unbelievable quads was a man who had suffered, endured, and pushed through setbacks that would have broken anyone else. From grueling injuries to the infamous moment at the 1994 Arnold Classic, when his body literally locked up on stage, his muscles cramping so intensely that he froze in place, unable to move, a horrifying spectacle where he was carried off the stage. Yet that moment, rather than ending his career, became part of his legend, because it showed the world the cost of chasing freak status. The razor's edge of bodybuilding at the highest level, where pushing beyond human limits means dancing with danger. But Paul returned, bigger, stronger, even more determined, because this was not a man built to quit. This was a man built to dominate, and dominate he did, winning pro shows, earning top Olympia placements, and forever stamping his image into bodybuilding's golden history. For when fans debate the freakiest physiques of all time, Dillet's name is always there, often at the very top, because size like his wasn't just big, it was monstrous, alien, a spectacle. And even decades later, when younger fans scroll through pictures and videos of 90s bodybuilding, they pause at Paul Dillet, their jaws drop, and they whisper the same words as the fans of that era: "What the hell am I even looking at?" Because Dillet wasn't about perfection, he was about shock value, the kind of shock that makes you feel small, powerless, humbled, the kind of presence that rewrites the standard. And though some critics argue that his lack of detail or separation held him back, the truth is simple. Paul Dillet changed bodybuilding forever by proving that size itself could be an aesthetic. That freak factor was a category of its own, and without him, the later monsters, like Marcus Rue, Big Ramy, and others, may never have had the path carved for them. For Dillet was a pioneer of the impossible. And today his legacy remains untouchable. His mass still unrivaled in the hearts of fans who crave the freaks, the giants, the outliers. And if bodybuilding is ever a spectacle, Paul Dillet is its ultimate showpiece. Because love him or hate him, you cannot forget him. And that, my friends, is the mark of a legend. So remember this name, Paul Dillet, the man who walked like a titan among men. The man whose physique screamed science fiction. The man whose every flex was a war on human limitations. The man who became an icon, not by winning Olympia, but by redefining what bodybuilding could look like. A man who remains a giant in memory, even as generations pass. Because legends don't fade, they echo, and his echo is eternal. Paul Dillet, the mass monster of bodybuilding, the freak who shook the world. And if you want more stories of icons, freaks, and legends who carved their name into iron history, then don't forget, smash that subscribe button right now and join us here on Muscle Kraze, because this is where legends live forever.